There are moments in life when silence itself carries a message. This is one of those moments. If you are hearing these words right now, understand this clearly. You did not arrive here by accident. Something beyond logic, beyond coincidence, has guided you to this exact point in time. There are events unfolding beneath the surface of your life that your mind may not yet fully understand, but your inner awareness already recognizes. For a long time, you may have felt as if you were waiting for clarity, waiting for movement, waiting for something invisible to finally shift. That waiting was not wasted time. It was preparation. What you are experiencing now is not confusion. It is transition. There is a difference between delay and design. Delay feels heavy, frustrating, and endless. Design feels hidden, quiet, and intentional. You have been in design mode while you thought nothing was happening. Something essential was being formed within you. Many people move through life reacting to noise. You were pulled away from noise, from distractions, from familiar patterns, from people who could not follow you where you were going. This separation was not rejection. It was refinement. When pressure increases before a breakthrough, it is not punishment. It is alignment. You may have noticed your tolerance for certain conversations, habits, or environments decreasing. Things that once felt normal now feel draining. That is not loss. That is growth. When your inner frequency changes, what no longer matches begins to fall away naturally. Right now, a turning point is approaching. Not everyone will notice it. Not everyone is meant to. Some will continue living as if nothing is changing, even as everything shifts around them. But those who are aware will feel it first internally, a sense of urgency without fear, a pull toward purpose without anxiety, a quiet knowing that something is about to move forward quickly. Acceleration follows preparation. What once felt slow is about to gain momentum. Situations that remain stuck for years can begin moving in unexpected ways, not because the world suddenly changed, but because you did. When internal alignment happens, external reality responds. You are entering a phase where clarity replaces confusion. Decisions that once felt overwhelming will become simple. Paths that seemed blocked will reveal openings. You will not need to chase or force outcomes. You will recognize what belongs to you because it will arrive without resistance. Pay attention to what begins to feel effortless. Effortless does not mean easy. It means supported. It means timed correctly. It means you are no longer fighting against the current of your own growth. There is also a release happening. Old disappointments, old guilt, old expectations that never materialized. These were not failures. They were lessons that strengthened your discernment. You now see more clearly because you were once confused. You now stand stronger because you were once uncertain. Nothing was wasted. As this transition unfolds, your awareness will sharpen. You will notice patterns others ignore. You will sense when to move and when to wait. This is not imagination. It is intuition becoming active again. Trust it. You are not being asked to become someone new. You are being invited to return to who you were before fear, doubt, and conditioning muted your instincts. What comes next requires presence, not panic, not obsession. Presence. Stay grounded. Stay observant. Stay internally quiet enough to hear subtle direction. The loudest shifts often arrive quietly. This is not an ending. This is activation. And this is only the beginning. There comes a stage in every transformation where silence becomes uncomfortable. That discomfort is not a warning. It is an invitation. For a long time, you learned how to survive. You adapted. You endured. You stayed functional even when you felt disconnected from your deeper self. That ability kept you moving, but it also kept parts of you dormant. Now those dormant parts are awakening. You may feel it as restlessness without a clear cause, a sense that routine no longer satisfies you, a quiet impatience with shallow answers. This is not dissatisfaction with life. It is dissatisfaction with limitation. Something within you is no longer willing to live below its capacity. When inner awareness expands, old identities begin to feel tight, like clothing you have outgrown. Roles you once accepted without question now feel misaligned. Expectations placed on you by others begin to feel heavy. not because they are wrong, but because they are incomplete. You are being called into alignment, not approval. Alignment does not always feel peaceful at first. Sometimes it feels like internal friction. The mind wants certainty. The deeper self wants truth. When those two are not yet synchronized, tension appears. That tension is growth in motion. You are standing at the threshold between who you were trained to be and who you are meant to become. Crossing that threshold requires awareness, courage, and patience. It requires letting go of the illusion that clarity always arrives before action. Often, clarity follows movement. This is why you may feel drawn to take steps that do not yet make logical sense. A conversation you feel compelled to have, a boundary you suddenly know you must set, a direction that feels right even without external validation. Trust that pull. Your inner guidance has been strengthening quietly, especially during periods when you felt unseen or underestimated. Those seasons were not delays. They were calibrations. Your perception was being sharpened so that when momentum arrives, you are not distracted by what does not matter, because momentum is arriving, not as chaos, but as acceleration. Acceleration does not ask for perfection. It asks for readiness. Readiness is not about having everything figured out. It is about being willing to respond when opportunity presents itself, even if it stretches you. You are moving into a phase where timing matters more than force. Doors that never opened before may open briefly. Invitations may come without warning. Moments will arise that ask you to decide quickly, not because you're being rushed, but because alignment has windows. When the window opens, hesitation closes it. This does not mean fear-based urgency. It means presence-based responsiveness. Being here enough to recognize when something is meant for you and having the confidence to step into it without overthinking. You are not being tested. You are being trusted. With greater awareness comes greater responsibility. Not responsibility to others, but responsibility to yourself. To honor what you know. To stop abandoning your intuition for comfort or familiarity. There will be moments when you realize you can no longer pretend not to know what you know. That realization can feel heavy at first. It can create a sense of loss for the version of you that once accepted less. But that loss is actually liberation. When denial ends, direction begins. You may notice changes in your relationships during this phase. Some connections will deepen effortlessly. Others may feel strained or distant. This is not about judgment or superiority. It is about resonance. People connect most easily when they are growing in compatible directions. You do not need to force separation. Clarity will create distance naturally where necessary. What remains will feel supportive, honest, and energizing rather than draining. As this realignment continues, your internal dialogue will change. You will spend less time questioning your worth and more time questioning whether something aligns with your purpose. That shift is subtle but powerful. Purpose-oriented thinking replaces fear-based thinking. You will begin to measure success differently, not by approval or comparison, but by internal coherence. Does this choice feel true? Does this direction expand me? Does this environment support who I am becoming? These questions will guide you more accurately than external opinions ever could. You are also entering a phase of increased discernment. You will see through distractions faster. Promises without substance will stand out clearly. You will sense when something looks appealing, but leads nowhere. This clarity is not cynicism. It is maturity. With maturity comes selectiveness. You will no longer feel obligated to engage with everything or everyone. Your energy will become valuable to you. You will protect it not out of fear, but out of respect for what you are building. And what you are building is not small. It may not yet have a visible form, but it has direction. It has weight. It has intention. The foundation is being laid internally before it manifests externally. This is how sustainable growth happens. Rushed growth collapses. Aligned growth stabilizes. As you move forward, you may notice moments of sudden confidence appearing without effort. Not arrogance. Calm certainty. The kind that does not need to prove itself. That confidence comes from integration. From parts of you coming into agreement rather than conflict. When your thoughts, values, and actions align, confidence becomes natural. There will still be challenges. Alignment does not eliminate resistance. It changes how you respond to it. Instead of reacting emotionally, you will respond strategically. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, you will feel focused. Focus is power, and your focus is sharpening. You are not here to repeat cycles. You are here to complete them. Patterns that once controlled you are losing influence because you are now conscious of them. Awareness weakens repetition. Choice replaces reaction. This is the moment where many people retreat back into familiarity. Not because growth is wrong, but because growth requires responsibility. You are not retreating. You are moving forward with awareness. The next phase of your journey will reward honesty more than effort, truth more than struggle, alignment more than ambition. Pay attention to what feels grounded, not just exciting. Expansion that lasts always feels stable underneath the movement. You are being positioned, not pushed, and positioning happens quietly before results become visible. What you are stepping into will not require you to become louder, harder, or more forceful. It will require you to be clearer, steadier, and more present. This is not about becoming someone else. It is about becoming undivided. And as you do, momentum will meet you. There's a moment in every awakening where the external world begins to feel slower than your inner awareness. You may notice this now. Conversations repeat themselves. Patterns in people become obvious. Situations that once demanded emotional energy no longer deserve it. This is not boredom. This is transcendence of old cycles. You're beginning to operate from observation instead of reaction, from understanding instead of assumption. That shift alone changes everything. For a long time, you were conditioned to believe that struggle equals value, that exhaustion equals effort, that suffering proves commitment. But a deeper truth is now emerging within you. Struggle was a teacher, not a destination. You learn discipline through resistance. You learn clarity through confusion. You learn patience through delay. But you are no longer required to remain in the classroom once the lesson has been absorbed. The reason things are changing is because you are no longer learning. You are applying. Application activates momentum. As this phase unfolds, you may notice that your emotional reactions shorten. Things that once triggered long spirals now pass quickly. This does not mean you care less. It means you are no longer ruled by unconscious patterns. You are choosing responses instead of inheriting reactions. That is power. Power does not announce itself loudly. It stabilizes quietly. You may also feel moments of internal stillness that feel unfamiliar. Silence without loneliness. Solitude without emptiness. These moments are not gaps. They are recalibration points. Your nervous system is learning safety without chaos. When chaos is no longer needed for stimulation, clarity emerges. And clarity changes the way you move. You will begin to notice that opportunities arrive differently now, not through pressure or desperation, but through alignment. Conversations flow. Doors open without resistance. Situations arrange themselves without force. This does not mean effort disappears. It means effort becomes efficient. Efficiency is the signature of maturity. You are also becoming more honest with yourself. Not harsh, not critical, but accurate. You no longer inflate your strengths or minimize your needs. You see yourself clearly. That clarity removes internal conflict. When inner conflict dissolves, direction becomes obvious. You will begin to feel less pulled by external validation. Praise will feel pleasant but unnecessary. Criticism will feel informative but not personal. You are no longer outsourcing your self-worth. Self-trust is being restored. With self-trust comes boundaries that feel natural rather than defensive. You will say no without guilt. You will say yes without fear. You will walk away without resentment. This is emotional sovereignty. As you step into this sovereignty, some people may not recognize you anymore. Not because you changed, but because you stopped performing versions of yourself that kept them comfortable. Do not explain yourself unnecessarily. Those who are meant to understand will feel the shift without words. The world often misunderstands calm confidence because it cannot control it. You will notice attempts to pull you back into urgency, drama, or doubt. These attempts are not attacks. They are invitations to regress. You will decline them naturally, not with resistance, but with non-participation. This is how cycles end. At this stage, intuition becomes less dramatic and more practical. It will not always arrive as a strong feeling. Sometimes it will arrive as quiet clarity, a knowing that does not argue with itself. When something is aligned, it does not require persuasion. You may also notice that time feels different. Moments feel denser. Decisions feel more impactful. This is because you are more present. Presence expands perception. An expanded perception reveals cause and effect faster. You will begin to see how small choices shape long-term outcomes, where you invest attention, who you allow influence, what you tolerate repeatedly. You are no longer living unconsciously. This awareness may initially feel heavy because responsibility increases with clarity, but soon it becomes liberating. You are no longer surprised by consequences. You are directing them. Direction creates stability. Stability creates confidence. Confidence attracts opportunity. As this internal structure strengthens, your external life will begin to reorganize. Not all at once, but consistently. Pieces that do not fit will loosen. Elements that belong will anchor. Trust this sorting process. You do not need to force outcomes. You need to remain aligned while outcomes rearrange themselves. There may be moments where nothing appears to be happening. Do not mistake stillness for stagnation. Integration happens in stillness. Seeds break open underground before they rise above the surface. What is forming within you needs time to root deeply so it can support what comes next. Because what comes next will require stability. You are not stepping into something small. You are stepping into responsibility, influence, and impact, not necessarily publicly, but meaningfully. Your words will carry more weight. Your decisions will affect more than just you. Your presence will shift environments subtly. This is leadership without force. Leadership begins internally. You will lead by example, not instruction. By steadiness, not dominance. By clarity, not control. This is why your internal foundation matters so much right now. If you rush this phase, cracks appear later. If you honor it, expansion becomes sustainable. You may feel moments of grief for old versions of yourself. Let that grief pass. Gratitude will replace it. That version carried you as far as it could. Now you carry yourself forward. As you continue, your vision will refine. You will no longer chase many directions. One or two will stand out clearly. These are not obsessions. They are alignments. Follow them patiently. Momentum will build naturally as consistency replaces intensity. This phase rewards presence over pressure, integrity over speed, alignment over ambition. You are not behind. You are on time. And the fact that you can feel this shift means you are already moving with it. At a certain point in growth, you stop asking when life will change, and you begin asking who you must be when it does. This is that point. What you are experiencing now is not anticipation. It is readiness forming beneath the surface. Readiness does not shout. It settles. It creates internal order where chaos once lived. You may notice that your attention is becoming more deliberate. You're no longer pulled equally in all directions. Some things simply do not register anymore. This is not indifference. It is refinement of focus. Focus is the gateway to mastery. For a long time, your energy was scattered, not because you were careless, but because you were learning. Learning what mattered, learning what drained you, learning what felt meaningful versus what merely filled time. Now the learning phase is closing. Integration has begun. Integration is when insight becomes behavior without effort. When you no longer have to remind yourself of lessons because they are already embodied. This is why your reactions are changing, why your patience feels deeper, why your confidence feels quieter but stronger. You are becoming internally consistent. Consistency is what allows growth to last. You may also feel less interested in explaining yourself, not because you lack words, but because you no longer require permission. Your internal agreement matters more than external understanding. This is emotional independence. With emotional independence comes clarity around responsibility. You begin to recognize what is truly yours to carry and what never was. Other people's expectations, other people's projections, other people's unresolved patterns. You will stop absorbing what does not belong to you. This creates lightness. As this lightness settles, creativity will increase. Not necessarily artistic creativity, but problem-solving creativity. You will see options where others see dead ends. You will recognize leverage points where others see obstacles. This is strategic awareness. Strategic awareness grows when emotion and logic cooperate rather than compete. You are learning how to pause without freezing, how to act without rushing, how to move forward without abandoning yourself. This balance is rare. Most people live at extremes: overthinking or impulsivity, control or chaos. You are moving into the middle ground where power resides. Power is calm. Calm does not mean passive. Calm means grounded. It means you act from choice rather than compulsion. As you embody this, you may feel moments of deep certainty followed by moments of emptiness. That emptiness is not lack. It is space being cleared. Space invites direction. You are no longer filling every moment with noise, distraction, or reaction. Silence is becoming productive for you. In silence, alignment strengthens. This is why clarity comes when you stop forcing answers. You may also notice that your sense of time is shifting again. Long-term thinking feels more natural. Short-term gratification feels less attractive. You are investing in outcomes rather than relief. This is maturity expressing itself. Maturity does not mean seriousness. It means intentionality. You will begin to approach choices with a different question. Not what feels good right now, but what supports a direction I am building. This question will quietly guide your decisions without effort. You are also becoming more selective with your inner dialogue. You will catch negative narratives earlier and question them instead of accepting them. This is not positivity. It is accuracy. Accuracy replaces self-sabotage. You are no longer mistaking familiarity for truth. Just because a thought is old does not mean it is valid. You are rewriting internal agreements that were formed before you had perspective. This is inner leadership. Inner leadership always precedes external leadership. As this phase continues, you may feel a stronger sense of responsibility toward your potential. Not pressure, but respect. A recognition that what you carry matters and deserves cultivation. You will begin to organize your life accordingly, structuring your time, protecting your energy, choosing environments that support growth. These changes may look small to others, but they are foundational. Foundations determine height. You are also learning patience of a different kind, not waiting in frustration, but waiting with trust, knowing that timing matters as much as effort. This patience does not feel like delay. It feels like confidence. Confidence in process. Confidence that what is meant to meet you will do so without force. You are beginning to operate from internal alignment rather than external urgency. This shift alone prevents burnout. Burnout comes from pushing against your own nature. You are now working with it. As you stabilize here, you will notice a subtle increase in influence. People may seek your perspective. Situations may calm in your presence, not because you try to control, but because coherence regulates chaos. This is energetic leadership. Leadership without noise. You are also becoming less reactive to uncertainty. The unknown no longer feels threatening. It feels open. This openness allows curiosity to replace fear. Curiosity expands capacity. You are not trying to predict everything anymore. You are preparing yourself to respond skillfully to whatever unfolds. This is resilience. Resilience is not toughness. It is adaptability rooted in self-trust. You trust yourself to handle what comes next, even if you do not yet know what it is. That trust is earned. It was built through every challenge you survived, every disappointment you integrated, every lesson you chose to learn instead of repeat. Now, something important is happening. You're no longer defining yourself by what you overcame. You are beginning to define yourself by what you are creating. Creation replaces survival. This is the true transition point. From reacting to life to shaping it. From avoiding pain to building meaning. From waiting for permission to honoring direction. You are not rushing this process because you understand its value. What forms slowly lasts, and what lasts becomes impactful. You are stepping into a phase where your presence carries intention, where your choices compound, where your direction stabilizes. This is not the peak. This is a platform. And what rises from this platform will reflect the depth you are building now. Eventually, growth reaches a stage where motivation is no longer emotional. It becomes structural. You are no longer driven by excitement, fear, or the need to prove anything. What moves you now is clarity. A quiet, steady clarity that does not fade when conditions change. This is the difference between impulse and direction. Impulse burns fast and disappears. Direction remains even when enthusiasm fluctuates. You are learning how to move forward without needing constant reassurance. That is maturity. At this stage, your life begins to organize itself around what matters most. Not what looks impressive, not what gains approval, but what creates depth, meaning, and continuity. You begin to think in layers. How today's choices affect next year. How habits compound over time. How integrity shapes outcomes, even when no one is watching. This layered thinking marks the transition from short-term survival to long-term construction. You are building something now. It may not yet have a name or visible form, but it has direction. Direction gives structure to effort. Without direction, even hard work scatters. With direction, even small steps accumulate power. You may notice that your tolerance for shortcuts has decreased. You no longer want quick wins that create long-term problems. You are willing to move slower if it means moving correctly. This patience is not hesitation. It is strategic restraint. Strategic restraint allows you to conserve energy for what truly matters. You are no longer spending your strength reacting to every challenge or distraction. You choose where your effort goes. Choice is freedom. As this freedom stabilizes, responsibility expands. Not as pressure, but as ownership. You begin to feel responsible for your potential, your influence, your contribution. Not because you must, but because you care. Care transforms effort into commitment. Commitment is what sustains progress when conditions are imperfect. You are also becoming more honest about your limitations. Not as excuses, but as data. You know where to grow. You know where to ask for support. You know where to improve systems instead of forcing willpower. This self-awareness prevents burnout. Burnout happens when responsibility exceeds structure. You are now building structure. Structure in how you manage time. Structure in how you manage energy. Structure in how you engage with challenges. Structure creates reliability. Reliability creates trust. Trust opens doors. As you move forward, you may feel less urgency to announce plans. You understand the power of quiet preparation. Outcomes speak louder than intentions. You are learning to let results introduce you. This does not mean secrecy. It means focus. Focus protects momentum. You are also developing a deeper relationship with effort itself. Effort no longer feels like strain. It feels like investment. Each action is chosen with awareness of its return. This changes your relationship with discipline. Discipline becomes self-respect. You are no longer disciplining yourself out of fear of failure, but out of respect for what you are building. This respect extends inward. You stop betraying yourself for comfort. You stop ignoring signals of misalignment. You stop negotiating with standards you know matter. This inner consistency creates confidence without ego. Confidence rooted in alignment does not need validation. As your internal foundation strengthens, your external world will reflect it. Not immediately, not dramatically, but steadily. Opportunities will feel more relevant. Challenges will feel more solvable. Decisions will feel clearer. You will notice that fewer things feel urgent, yet more things feel important. This is discernment. Discernment separates noise from signal. You are no longer overwhelmed by possibilities. You are guided by priority. Priority creates momentum. Momentum creates impact. Impact gives meaning to effort. This is the cycle you are entering. You may still encounter doubt at times. Doubt does not disappear completely, but it loses authority. It becomes a question, not a command. You listen without obeying. That is emotional mastery. You also become more resilient to external instability. When circumstances fluctuate, your internal direction remains stable. You do not panic. You adapt. Adaptation is strength. Strength allows continuity. Continuity builds legacy. You are no longer thinking only about outcomes. You are thinking about contribution. how what you build affects others, how your presence shapes environments, how your actions ripple outward. This is purpose activating. Purpose is not found. It is lived. You live it through consistency, through integrity, through choosing alignment even when it is inconvenient. This phase asks for less intensity and more consistency. Consistency outperforms intensity over time. You are learning this now. As you stabilize here, a deeper sense of meaning will emerge. Not excitement, not validation, but fulfillment. The fulfillment that comes from knowing you are moving in the right direction, even when progress is gradual. This fulfillment is quiet. It does not depend on applause. It depends on alignment. You are not chasing significance. You are creating it. And what you create from this place will last. As this message comes to a close, take a moment to pause, not to look outward, but inward. What you have just experienced was not meant to overwhelm you. It was meant to remind you of what you already carry, remind you of what you've been becoming. Even in moments when progress felt invisible, everything you heard was not pointing you towards something distant. It was pointing you back to yourself. The journey you've been on was never about speed. It was about depth, about building a foundation strong enough to support what comes next. Many people chase change without understanding its weight. You chose awareness first. That choice matters. You are not standing at the end of something. You are standing at a threshold. From here, life does not suddenly become easy, but it becomes clearer. You no longer move blindly. You no longer confuse noise with direction. You begin to recognize what aligns and what distracts. That awareness is power. The quiet strength you feel now is not accidental. It is earned. It was built through patience, through reflection, through moments when you chose growth over comfort. Those moments shaped you more than any visible success ever could. As you move forward, remember this: alignment does not require perfection. It requires honesty. Honesty with yourself about what you want to build, what you are willing to release, and what you are no longer willing to compromise. You do not need permission to live intentionally. You do not need validation to trust your direction. You do not need urgency to move with purpose. What you need, you already have. Clarity will continue to unfold as long as you remain present. Strength will continue to grow as long as you remain consistent. Meaning will continue to deepen as long as you choose integrity over impulse. There will be moments when the path feels quiet again. Do not mistake quiet for stagnation. Growth often happens beneath the surface, strengthening roots before raising structure. Trust the process you are in. You are not here to repeat old patterns. You are here to complete them. You are not here to prove your worth. You are here to express it. Carry forward what resonates. Release what no longer serves. Move forward with patience, focus, and self-respect. The work ahead does not demand force. It demands presence. And presence is something you have cultivated. As this chapter closes, let it settle, not as inspiration alone, but as direction. Let it guide how you choose, how you respond, how you build. Let it remind you that progress is not always loud, but it is always intentional. You are not becoming someone else. You are becoming whole. And from that wholeness, everything else follows.